Hi, I'm Olivia with Running Shoes Guru, and I'm here to talk to you today about the Under Armour Charged Assert 8. The Under Armour Charged Assert 8 is a lightweight, affordable training shoe. I think the price is pretty reasonable for the shoe. It'll cost you around $70. It weighs 8.15 ounces and has an offset of 10 millimeters. I received the black and white color of this shoe. I know they also offer this shoe in another color. It is halo gray and white for women's. So my first impressions of the shoe was nothing too exciting. It's a very basic shoe, it's a basic color, and it didn't really offer any standout features. When I first put the shoes on, my initial reaction was a positive one. They were all around cushioned. I could feel the softness all over my foot. Along with that, I could feel the overlay stitching as well. And that's the part that I didn't really love when I first put the shoe on. You can feel the overlay stitching up here on the top of your foot and as well up near your toes there. And wasn't a huge fan of that. I would not categorize this shoe as solely just a running shoe. I would categorize it more of a training shoe. You can definitely do runs in this shoe, but for the longer distance running or everyday running, I would not recommend purchasing this shoe for those reasons. Things I noticed about this shoe right away was how lightweight they felt when I first put them on. I also noticed the roomy toe box that this shoe has, as well as the stability that this shoe offers. The shoe overall is very comfortable. It allows for you to wear them all day long with no issues. It's modern looking and it offers some newer technology. The newer technology would be the lightweight mesh with 3-color digital print that delivers complete breathability, durable leather overlays, see these here, an EVA sock liner right in there, charged cushioning, and a solid rubber outsole. My first run in these shoes was a 5K run at a moderate pace, and I had no major issues with them for that distance. I did do 2 longer runs in these shoes. They were around 8 miles and maybe 9 or 10 miles for the second one, and that's where I started running into issues wearing these shoes for the longer distances. I started to get some pain in my Achilles as well as tightening in my calves, and I typically never have issues with those 2 things. The upper is made of a lightweight mesh material. The mesh is a little bit rougher and not as plush as some of the shoes that I've had. It's very breathable, and the mesh only covers about from the mid-foot up to the toe box area. So the rest of the upper is made up of durable leather overlays. You can see it back here in the heel cup, up around the laces, and a little bit up around the toe box area. I don't know if I would call it leather. It definitely doesn't feel like leather once you rub it. It feels just like kind of like a faux suede in a way. The leather overlays cover the heel cup here, up and around the lacing box, and as well up around the toe area. So where the overlay meets the mesh up near the toe area, I am starting to have a little bit of tearing, and I haven't really worn these shoes an awful lot, so that's a little disappointing. One of the areas that I really liked was the tongue of the shoe. If you can see, it is a different material than the rest of the upper of the shoe. It is a softer plush mesh material, and it is the perfect thickness and plushness. And I just really like that. It was very comfortable on the top of my foot. I could do all different lacing techniques, and I had no issues with hot spots or pressure from the laces. The lacing system offers many choices for you to choose from. The laces are round and they stayed in place if I just knotted them, and definitely if I double knotted them. The heel cup doesn't really have a lot going on there, but it did support my heel for the runs that I did, and also the cross-training workouts that I really enjoyed these shoes for. Not super fancy, but it definitely gets the job done, and I don't have any huge complaints with this heel support. Let's take a look at the sole of the shoe. The shoe is made for the individual who has a neutral foot strike and would not be suggested for the person who underpronates. When you first put your foot into the shoe, you will notice how plush the shoe and comfortable the shoe is as a whole. The Under Armour Charged Assert 8 has charged cushioning throughout the midsole. This is Under Armour's brand of cushioning that uses compression molded foam to give you responsiveness and durability. When I first put the shoes on, I did notice the squishiness of this foam, and I actually wore these shoes all day long from 8 in the morning till almost 8 at night while I was training clients, and I had no issues or complaints while I was just wearing them around. The outsole of the shoe is made of solid rubber. The rubber does not cover the entire bottom of the shoe, as you can see. It is strategically placed on high impact areas of the shoe, giving you greater durability with less weight. There's deep and shallow flex grooves that are found between the midfoot and the forefoot, which makes the platform very flexible. I tested this shoe out on multiple surfaces, and this is how each of them went. So on the road or on the sidewalk, I tested them out in dry conditions and wet conditions. They did pretty well in both conditions. I had no issues. I was just running though. I was running at a moderate pace. I wasn't sprinting. I wasn't changing directions. I wasn't running up or down hills really. The terrain was just pretty flat and pretty safe. The next place I tried these shoes out on was a grassy hill. My house is on a hill, so I like to incorporate hill running in my workouts once a week. So I tested them out in dry conditions, and they did just fine. When I woke up one morning and it was a little bit early and there was some dew on the ground, so the grass was wet, I did have a lot of slipping in these shoes. The last place I tested these shoes out on was on artificial turf. I train athletes, so I wanted to see how well these shoes did in a speed and agility class and other various workouts. So I did hurdles, I did ladder drills, I did change of directions, and I did sled pushes. Overall, this is where I think this shoe should be categorized as a training shoe. It did very, very well, and I enjoyed this shoe a lot. I really enjoyed these shoes for speed and agility workouts. The low stack height and the cushy midsole really made my foot feel secure and low to the ground, which made me feel comfortable when I was planning or changing directions. The Under Armour Charged Assert 8, they fit true to size. I had plenty of room in my toe box area. They come in standard B width. If you have a wider foot, I would recommend sizing up a half of a size. The shoe that came to mind when comparing this shoe to another shoe would be the Under Armour Charged Impulse. Both of these shoes offer the charged cushioning midsole and the solid rubber outsole that only covers high impact areas. Another brand that reminds me of this shoe would be the Nike Revolution 5. The cushioning in each is a soft foam midsole, and that offers for a nice smooth ride. Both of the shoes that I compared to The Under Armour Charged Assert 8 are both as well wallet-friendly shoes. My conclusion on the Under Armour Charged Assert 8 would be that this shoe should not be categorized as solely a running shoe. It is a shoe that should be categorized as I would suggest a training shoe. I loved it for that purpose. I've been wearing it for the past couple weeks every Friday that I go in to work at the gym, and I do my speed and agility workouts in them. And I love them. I've actually recommended them to 1 or 2 clients as well. If you're looking at this shoe for a running shoe, solely a running shoe, I would not purchase this shoe for that. It is a great daily trainer, and also it works very well for casual purposes too. It's very comfortable, it's lightweight, and for the price, you definitely get what you pay for, and a little bit more. So thanks for tuning in for my review of Under Armour's Charged Assert 8. If you would like to read the full review of this shoe, you can check out runningshoesguru.com.